Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back for more punishment.
Hey, yeah, well, the news is punishing. This was a fun discussion with our dear friend Wayne Steiger from yesterday that we did on his channel and uploaded it today. Always a load of fun.
Oh, we just love it. He calls it Thor's Day, and we just call it Wayne's Day around here.
Absolutely. In case you missed it, there is a new war approaching in an unusual place. Thailand and Cambodia, they have a dispute that goes back to 1907 over the border, and all of a sudden now, at this of all times, they're starting to shoot at each other. So let's pray for cooler heads and peace upon planet Earth.
I think that's a very good way to use our energy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it just horrible stuff, the nature of war. Southwest pilot was forced to nosedive to avoid a mid-air collision after takeoff from Burbank to Las Vegas. Passengers were reportedly launched out of their seats into the ceiling, with passengers comparing the incident to the Tower of Terror ride. About 10 minutes into the flight, we plummet pretty far. I look around. Everybody was like, okay, is that normal? Then within 2 seconds, it felt like the ride Tower of Terror, where we fall 20 to 30 feet in the air. The screaming, it was terrifying. We really thought we were plummeting into a plane crash. After the incident, the pilot allegedly told the passengers plane had almost collided with another plane, and they had lost air traffic control signal. Oh, you just can't make up everything that's happening at the same time.
I know, that's pretty frightening.
Been a ton of them. By the way, asteroids and comets and fireballs, oh my. Here you go. Asteroid that will spare Earth might hit the moon instead. Well, the reality is this asteroid, known as 2024 YR4, it does have, they say, a chance of hitting us, the Earth, December 22nd, 2032. It's 3.1% chance in... That's what they had said in February. Since then, the odds went down. But right now, they're giving the odds at about 4% chance that's going to hit the moon.
Well, let's think about that for a moment. If the moon, it affects us in a big way, right? We ebb and flow with the moon. Our bodies are made of water, and when the moon does stuff, we do stuff. So if it impacts the moon and the moon even moves a little bit, that's going to be a wild ride for us.
So they say that if it does impact the moon, it might be spectacular to witness. We don't know. But it could also send fine-grained lunar material hurtling towards our planet. What would that look like? Would it look like the sky got turned on fire or something? I don't know. But at the same time, as we talked about, the Werner von Braun deathbed confession, which he only talked supposedly to one lady who then told us about the confession. Well, one of the things that was coming that was going to be a scam, according to this confession, was asteroids impacting the Earth and alien invasion. But it also supposedly talked about the war on terror. Again, we could look to a lot of messages given to us from so many different sources. 1871. Again, message of Albert Pike, attributed to Albert Pike, talking about 3 world wars. I've seen a lot of people debunking that and trying to debunk it. Yet there was a reference to it in around 1900, which again, that's before 1914 when the First World War came about. So it's just interesting to see all this. As we know, there's a lot of deception going on. By the way, of the 171 asteroids that passed Earth closer than the moon in the last year, how many do we see coming 10 days in advance? None. Not one. Not one. At least that's what they tell us again. And then you have asteroid Psyche 16. It's been found to contain gold reserves worth 700 quintillion. That could make everybody on Earth a billionaire. But then it would just be hyperinflated to the point where, again, the rich control system would maintain control.
It would be like, I have this old brick of gold here. I'll throw it in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean, in case anybody hasn't figured it out, the control system in place is not one in which fair and equitable distribution of assets around the planet. And that again is also something that they're not interested in. And they've also given us communism, which really it's not communal, because in communism you have this elite group of, again, geopolitical decision makers that are wealthy, and the bankers are wealthy. It's the same show in the capitalistic countries. In fact, when you look to communism in China, it was funded mostly by, again, the banking cabal led by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. When you get down to it, they funded Mao. When you look closely, and because I said that, this will get buried a little bit deeper. Meanwhile, you have a meteor fireball over Poland, Germany, and the Czech Republic. In fact, this is it right here. This, is interesting too, because it was like they went to a nice smooth jazz video because they didn't want me maybe showing you guys this video. I don't know. Again, there's been a lot of interference. The tech has been just wacky. It seems like everybody we're talking to is having a lot of technical problems with their phones and computers and the like.
Oh my gosh, it's been really wild. Real wild.
Absolutely. Hubble just captured 31, or 3I Atlas, 31 Atlas. Everybody calls it 31. But anyway, really, what's going on with this? It looks like a comet. It flies like a probe. May not be natural at all. This is Skywatch signal. It's the third, as we were saying, confirmed interstellar visitor after Oumuamua and Borisov. And again, it's curious too, because one thing that's interesting is a tail facing the sun is unusual, and comet tails always trail away from the sun due to radiation. What's that all about? Unless there's something else going on. I mean, is it some other sort of technology? Again, remote viewing it, we see it is a ship.
They're going to continue to come up with the science as long as we continue to buy into it. So I think we just need to keep helping people wake up.
Yes, absolutely. And here you go. This is in Mexico, and that's one of ours, I would say, or it could have both reptilians, I should say all three, reptilians, grays, and also probably U.S. military on it. These triangular ships, a lot of sightings of these, real common. And yet, here they are. They're right out there in the open. Here's another amazing footage here, UAP. If you don't think that we're really being visited by all sorts of beings, again, ultra-terrestrial, inner Earth, extraterrestrial, interdimensional, perhaps even, some aliens that live under the sea, and maybe they're neighbors of SpongeBob. But here you go. Here is 47 from last year.
They were in the Oval Office, 3 or 4 pilots. These are not people that make up stories. They said, all I know, sir, is there was a round object that was going 4 times faster than my F-22, which is a very fast plane. And it wasn't, it shouldn't have been, it was round, sir. They have seen, 4 or 5 guys I've interviewed, solid people, great pilots for the U.S. Air Force, etc. They've seen things that they cannot explain.
Absolutely. But, you don't have to take NASA or take any politician's words. Go back to the myths and legends. Go back to the artifacts. And, look at the skulls that they found in Paracas, which are not Homo sapiens. Hello. Here you go. We got some quake activity. We had a 6.2 down here south of Australia, in between Australia and Antarctica. And where did they put that 6.6? Where did they put that 6.6? Did they take it away? There it is. Isn't that it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have this 6.6 north of New Zealand, And this one concerns me a little bit more because of its depth. It's 314 kilometers deep. Usually when you get them this deep, they won't really do too much on the surface. But what they do is transfer energy, and you may end up with a bigger quake, something perhaps mid-sevens, again, more like that 7.4 that we saw not too long ago, or that 7.3. I would expect something else to come out within the week in the sevens. Again, this is right here, 7 days, right? And we have this 7.4. This is 6.2. If we go out a little bit more, you'll see that we also had that 7.3. When you look at it, okay, this is 30 days, 4.5 up. You can see there's not a lot of big activity on the west coast of the U.S. and Canada. Now, again, that is kind of normal to have a lot of smaller quakes diffusing the tension over here through Cascadia and the San Andreas. But at the same time, you just got to wonder, when is the big one coming? And I hope everybody is prepared as best as we can. We have so many loved ones on the West Coast. Again, Cindy's a West Coast girl.
Yeah, there's so many people we know, and just even if there wasn't, I would be very concerned for people over there. I did have one really strong vision, and it seemed like everything all went at once, and everyone knew what it was. No one had to ask any questions. We just knew the earth rocking and shaking like that could only mean one thing. And after that vision, I've never been able to forget it. And will it happen in this timeline? I don't know, but I really hope that many people are spared, and that it's not a huge loss of life. That's definitely a concern.
Yeah, so in the last 30 days, we had a 6.2 in Panama. I think, right now I would say the likelihood is look towards South America for something pretty good size, but again, it could happen anywhere. And talking about anywhere, what's up with Ruidoso, New Mexico? Again, there's several family members that are from this little town that just has gone through hell. And more flash floods. This is not the one from previous. This is not, again, the disaster of the fire. You got more flash floods happening in Ruidoso. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, all the weather phenomenons that are out there. You have a year's worth of rain, 24 hours. We see that so many places. This is in China. There's lots of rumors coming out of China. I mean, tons of rumors coming out of China. Some say that Xi Jinping is just about out of power. And I did ask Cindy to look into that using her ability to remote view. And she did get that he seems to be hanging on by a thread, or at least I think we could say precarious.
It did look very precarious. I was shown a vision of him and then a vision of the establishment, and between the two, just a really thin string. So I did take that as he is hanging on by a thread right now.
I wonder, okay, let's shoot out to 20. Let's give ourselves 3 years. 2028. What world leader from 2020-ish, and all about that time period, do you think will still be in the public eye in 2028? I don't think hardly any. I think you're going to see, I mean, again, Trudeau has been thankfully vanquished. Again, that real scary lady that was down in New Zealand, she's no longer there, hasn't been there. There's been a lot of them that have already disappeared, and even celebrities. We've had so many celebrities go. I'd say give it 3 more years or so, and I just think I think there is a cleansing underway in more ways than one.
A big cleansing, yeah.
Yeah, or you could say it's just simply karma, in that you have to make a deal with the devil, to get into the position of, say, a Bezos and a Musk. What will be the case with Bezos and Musk come, say, 2028? Will they still be 2 of the richest billionaires? How about that Gil Bates guy? Will he still be free walking around? I don't know. It feels like it's like a Johnny Cash song, the day of reckoning is coming. Oh, And then we're here in Kansas City. We have water rescues and floods. It's all over that we're seeing this. Florida, we've had horrible toxic algae blooms and red tide. This is Australia. And it's the worst toxic algae bloom in decades. Killed over 14,000 marine animals. Again, we pray for everybody in these areas, including, of course, the animals. We absolutely adore the animals. Again, very, very innocent souls in all this. And this is a fire in Concepcion, Chile, and damaged at least 10 homes. It just seems like it's been one thing after another. Stay rooted, stay grounded, get out in nature. We were just walking outside with the pups, and I think that's one of their favorite things is to have mom and dad with them. Get out and just basically have a nice little walk or a nice hike and just enjoy the natural side of things, because I tell you, it feels like things are coming to a head in some ways.
It was beautiful because there was probably 1,000 dragonflies out there.
Yeah, and it seems like the dragonflies follow us. They were in the other yard at the other place, and now they're here. It's a blessing. Again, not all dragons are nasty.
No, they're not.
And as always, guys, thanks for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.